This is the man everybody needs to know. Everybody wants money. This is the guy who's going to show you the money. We want to see the money. This is attorney Stephen Meyers, or Steve Meyers. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great today. Thanks a lot.
How's that intro?
That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you. Wow. Well, that's what I teach people is how do you get access to capital, and when you have that opportunity, what do you say to investors? Those are seem to be the sticking points that most people run into. A, how do I set up my company so I'm ready to raise capital when it's that time? That's the beginning stage. And then there's the final part is, oh my God, I have an opportunity to be in front of an investor. What do I do now? Because as I put it, you only have one chance to make a good first impression, and so many people don't know what to do.
Well, you're the perfect person to talk about this because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there and business owners that are terrified of this process. It seems so tedious and daunting. So let's break this down. You're saying it's actually quite simple. So putting and structuring your company is a simple process.
It really is. I say everything is common sense. I was teaching a couple classes here at CEO Space this weekend, and I made sure at the end of I say to them, have I said anything that's not totally common sense? When I said it and I put the 7 points up on the wall, is there anyone that doesn't get every single point? Because I'll stop right now. And everyone was shaking their heads. I actually had full attention, people wide awake. No, they didn't have that glazed over look in their face, you know, like I do when they talk about web pages. Because I used to teach my class assuming everyone knew everything and that they would get it. And I realized when I set up my own web page and someone said, get me an HTML page, and I was looking in the mirror at the time, and I said, oh my God, I know that look. That's like the people in my class. They have the glaze, nothing's happening. Just absolutely nothing is going on. So I really, get up, down, what's the word, down home and personal with people, and I make sure that every point I stop, and it really is not that hard. For example, you may not choose to use LegalZoom to set up. They're not really designed for people that are going to go out and raise capital. But if you're going to want to raise a couple $1 million over the next, say, 3 to 5 years, you need to make sure, for example, you have enough shares to do it. Okay. A lot of the companies set you up with 1,500 shares. Well, I don't know, I'm not going to do the math for you, but at a couple $1 million, you're not going to sell your shares for $500 a share. It's not going to work. You want 50 cents. So again, it's nothing, it's common sense. You sit down with someone and you guesstimate how many shares you might need to raise a few million over the next 2 to 3 years. That's the beginning stage.
That's the beginning stage. So should people...
But there's nothing hard there. You just say, okay, I might want to raise this amount of money. Golly, I better make sure I have enough shares.
So when people are setting up their companies, let's say they're a brand new company, should they be thinking I'm raising capital, or not every company should be thinking that?
No, not every company. No, I mean, obviously, if you're setting up the corner drugstore and it's a certain amount for the lease and you can self-fund it and you can afford your inventory and you don't need to raise capital, that's one situation. But for example, here at a place like CEO Space or other entrepreneurial events, people are out raising OPM, other people's money. But it's not that hard to plan for it. You get together with people, you come up with projected budgets. How much will I need? How much can I self-fund? Or at that point in time, perhaps your MasterCard is fully loaded. And you say, I need other people's money, but I have a good value proposition. Look, I got a fabulous, investors want to know 3 things. What's your product or service? Who's your market? And how are you going to make money from them? And if you've got a really good story to tell, that people, as they say in Silicon Valley, does a dog eat the dog food? And if people get it, oh wow, this is a really great product. People are going to like this. You can get investors, and you offer them a good value proposition. Yeah, you give up a percentage of your company to have them on board, but without them, you can't afford to run your company. So I view it as a trade-off, and your shares are worth more. So it's a win-win proposition. And again, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science to do it.
And in terms of the presentation, should the company owner be hiring other people to do presentations for them if they are not a professional presenter?
I do talk to people about that. There are certain people that just cannot do it. But you're always going to want investors. Investors are human beings, and I think most people don't get it, that they have a heart, they have families. If they're putting their money in your company, they're going to be dealing with you for a long period of time. They want, for example, is Steve the kind of person I want to deal with? I'm going to be calling him up. I'm going to be getting reports. Do I trust him? Do I believe in him? Does Steve have the passion to carry this through? Or was this just some gimmick to make money and he's going to drop it he's not going to work hard to make it come to fruition? Investors invest from the heart. You really need a heart connection with your investors. I teach people that. Most people don't get it. And again, common sense. Hello, I say you do mirror work. You practice in the mirror. If you can't move the person in the mirror to tears about what you're doing, maybe try something else. But if you can't have that connection with yourself in the mirror, how are you going to do it with an investor? If you're sitting there reading, my company is, and we have a, and you're not even looking at your investor. It's all about connection. And so that's what I teach people to do that. And I say them, is there anything I said that's not common sense that you'd want to practice it? That if I woke you in the middle of the night and I said, whoa, Bill Gates is in town and he happened to stop by, and I'm your neighbor and I know you've got a company, and Steve, tell me about your company, and if I have to, let me get my notes. I can't remember. What company are we talking about?
Right on. Nobody's going to want to fund you. So thank you so much. There's two things. I say get your company set up properly for capital, and two, work on that presentation so people connect with you. Great tips. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.